people for the Easter presentation. Nobody's showing up to practice. Where is everybody?
We need you!
Good morning, Cherubland. How are you all doing today? Fantastic, I hope. Boys and girls, how has the first week of this cooperation been? Everybody wants to have their own input, doesn't it? It's my turn. You did it last time. Cooperation, it kind of makes us not really worry about ourselves, but actually what we're trying to get done together. Have y'all gotten caught up worrying about who should do it, or you're really not good at it, versus saying, let's work together to be able to get whatever it is we set out to do done. And get it done as if we're doing it towards the Lord. Woo! Becomes tough, doesn't it? And at a young age, if it's tough, if we don't get it right now, over and over and over again, it becomes, guess what? Even more difficult when we get older. So, what is cooperation? Here it is, right here. Cooperation. Working together to do more than you can do alone. Cooperation. Working together to do more than you could do alone. That cooperation comes in a number of ways. Maybe you're studying for a test and hey, you need a study partner to be able to kind of tell you the answers. Or you may be playing in PE and need someone to pass you the ball because you're open. You may need to actually work on your dance steps and hey, you need somebody to see if you hit the right steps. All those things require cooperation. Working with someone else in a way that if you were by yourself, it wouldn't work out as good. What other things have y'all encountered with this cooperation? Yeah. Cooperation takes what? Yeah. Someone willing to be able to help. Yeah. At times, somebody can feel excluded. Like, hey, it's not my turn, or I always mess things up. That's when we can do what? We can make others feel, valued. Yeah, like I said, it's just not for 1 month. It's for our daily lives. Do y'all remember the memory verse? If you don't, let's check it out together. Here it is. Right from there. Echo buttons. on. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9. Echo buttons off. 3's better than 1. 4, 5, 6. If there's some cooperation. Because you can have 25 people helping. But if people are not cooperating, it's not cooperating, it's not doing what I say. Or so-and-so being the boss. Again, it's everyone working together to be able to get more done than if they were working by themselves. That's requiring patience. That's requiring consistency. That's requiring compassion. That's requiring self-control. That's requiring all these things that we've talked about in Cherubland. And everybody has to play their part. The great thing about it, I really don't have to worry about him or her playing their part. I just need to make sure I play mine. Yeah. How can I play my part? How can I be as involved as I should be when I'm constantly worried about she's not doing this or he's not doing that, or hey, what am I not doing? I could be a part of the problem. I could be the one really not cooperating. We can all look at ourselves and we could always say, how can Mr. Edward get better? We could always look at our own selves and say, how can we get better? So, this week, I don't know if y'all ever been in class and knew the answer. What do you find yourself doing? Your teacher says, raise your hand. Well, what happens when we raise our hand, the teacher's still writing on the board, and we say, ooh, 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 ooh. Or we start to waving our hands so we can get more attention because we know the answer. What happens when the teacher keeps talking? We still know the answer. For a while we get a little, maybe impatient. We get a little bit, and we do this. What happens? Our arm gets tired. Just that little bit of time. We actually need to use our other hand to actually prop up our arm to be able to help us. It's always good to be able to have help when you get tired. Well, this week, we'll talk about some guys that need some help. And they got tired. Y'all got a minute? I'll be right back.
presentation. Nobody's showing up to practice. Where is everybody?
We need you!
Thank y'all for hanging around till I got back. So this week, we'll talk about being able to work together to help someone succeed. Have y'all ever have someone that maybe had to get something done and you saw them, you just looked at them, you didn't help them succeed? Like, you ever saw somebody that you said, hey, you need any help? And they said, yes. You say, well, okay. Didn't help them succeed. And when you saw the need, or they told you and you helped them, you helped them succeed. So in Exodus chapter 17, the children of Israel had came out of captivity in Egypt. You remember Pharaoh wouldn't let our people go. So by the hand of God, Moses told him, and God performed these great wonders. 10 of them, wasn't it? And then the Egyptians, Pharaoh, let the people go and they left with great possessions. Well, God actually took them from Egypt and they were actually brought into the wilderness. But God said, I'm going to take you to a land full of milk and honey. Estelle, what is milk and honey again? You remember, milk comes from what? Yeah. Goats. Yeah, goat milk. Cows. Yeah. So for goats and cows to produce milk, they have to have grass and water. So that means there's a land with grass and water. A lot of vegetation that can grow there. But what about the honey, Mr. L? Yeah, good thought. So honey comes from what? Bees. Bees actually find what? Flowers. Yeah, they use the pollen in there to be able to make the honey. So it has to be a lot of places with a place with a lot of flowers. Not just flowers like roses, but flowers that produce apples, pears, and figs, fruit, and other flowers that, just it's beautiful to look at. So that's where we understand the land of milk and honey. So God keeps his promise. However, before this happens, they have to go into battle. Why? Well, there are some people that really don't like the children. They actually call it Amalekites. They're from a guy named Amalek. And so the people said, let's destroy God's people. Let's go into battle against them. Well, Moses, being the leader, told Joshua, take some men. Take some of the men that you know can fight. But, however, don't worry about getting enough to be able to fight against the Amalekites from a number standpoint. get the guys that, going to believe in you and want to fight. You say, well, why not worry about the number? Because God is actually going to fight the battle for them. So the Amalekites were much greater in number. Well, when they actually got in this battle, they were kind of down in this area, and Moses actually goes up, to the top of the mountain with his brother Aaron and her. That's H-U-R, not H-E-R. And so those three men were up there and they were observing the battle. And so, what do you think happened? The fight was going on. So you remember Moses' staff that God gave him? You remember the one that he threw down in front of the Egyptians and it turned into a snake and he picked it up and it turned back into a rod again after it ate the other snakes? Yeah. That one that he stretched out over the Red Sea and they walked across as if it was on dry land? Yeah, that one. Well, God wanted to use Moses again. And he said, hey, hold up the rod. Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Well, Moses is an older guy. He's not a third grader or fourth grader. Not even in first or second grade. So when you get older, it's kind of tough to raise your hand above your head much. But Moses has his rod and he's asked to hold this rod up. Well, initially when you do it, it's kind of rough. So Moses gets tired. And his arms begin to drop. And when his arms began to drop, Joshua and the children of Israel were fighting against the Amalekites. They start losing the battle. Oh, wow. God is still with them. But Moses has to lift up this rod. Moses has to use all of his power and might, not to go down and fight, but to keep this rod above his head. When you're in class, I'll be glad when she calls on me, or I'll be glad when he calls on me. You get tired and you just put your hand like this, and before long it slides down. You still got the right answer, but you're getting tired of raising your own. Moses, being at his age, she got tired. But guess what? Remember, he had his brother Aaron and her there. So they had a great idea. They said, hey, let's provide somewhere for Moses to sit. And let's get 2 rocks, one on each side, that Moses could actually prop his arms up on, that he could hold up his rod. That was pretty smart, wasn't it? Guess what? They could have said, hey, Moses, hey, what are you crying about? You don't got to go fight the battle. Just hold up the rod. They didn't. They could have said, hey, Moses, well, give me the rod. I'll hold it up. Yeah, they didn't say that, though. They wanted to cooperate. They wanted to work together to be able to help someone succeed. So they had a great idea, and they did it. Work together. How different is that for us today? So when Moses holds up the rod with the help of Aaron and Hur's idea, and they win the battle. They defeat the Amalekites. Joshua and his army was victorious. Oftentimes, we need someone to help us succeed. Moses didn't say, "Hey, I got it." Moses didn't say, "Why don't y'all go down and fight then? I'm tired." No, he didn't. He took the help that was actually given to him. He wasn't too prideful. He wasn't too upset that he couldn't do it. Oftentimes, when we're young, we want to get it because we want the credit. We want to be saying, "I got it. Let me do it by myself." You know, some kids, that was one of the first phrases I said. "Let me do it by myself." And from that day till even now, I've had to learn lessons that I can't do it by myself. God doesn't want us to do it by ourselves. He wants us to be able to rely totally upon Him and others that He sends in our life to be able to help us. So the next time you have something to do, the next project, the next time you run into something difficult, the next time you just want to be successful, see if there's somebody that maybe can help you. To see if somebody's already asked you, if you need help, let me know. They may be able to help you succeed. Remember, cooperation is what? Doing more, what? What? Together. You can do, yeah, by yourself. Keep working on it. Keep trying really hard. Don't get discouraged. Go back and try again. And again and again. You all again.
What's the emergency?
We need people for the Easter presentation. Nobody's showing up to practice. Where is everybody?
We